Hey, it's the Ray Rican. And today, as you can see here, I'm going straight to it. This is what I want to talk about and the hypocrisy of the news. It goes here MSNBC's Tiffany Cross urges liberals to pick up a weapon and get involved with war for democracy. Let's see if I just want to I want to play you her comment. If he'll let me play it. Come on. Of course.
It is a war. It is indeed a war. And I have to say, they have won some battles, Jasmine, but we have to keep our eye on the war, and everybody needs to pick up a weapon and get involved, because this is for the safety and lasting of the country.
So I just want to, it seems silly, just that one sentence. But here's the whole thing. The left is always accusing of people on the right of, focusing on weapons, focusing on the Civil War. But meanwhile, here is an anchor on MSNBC calling for people for liberals and the left to pick up weapons for war, a war for democracy. Well, here's the problem. One, this is why I hate saying that we're not a democracy. We're a republic. We're a republic with democratic institutions. If we kept to our beliefs, we would be in a better place. The problem is we've made the federal government so powerful, you can't escape its reach. And that's what they're fighting for. That's the war they want. They want to win the federal government. Why do they want to win the federal government? Because then they could push everything they want in their states, they could push in all states. And that's where the fracture will begin. That's the problem. The beauty of our system is the fact that it's where there's states, and if you don't like the way a state's running, you could basically get elected, get other people elected, so you could change the way things are running in your state. But the problem is too much that people don't even focus on local politics anymore. People don't even know who their local representatives anymore. People don't even know who all their senators are. And that's the biggest problem, when, all people care about is the election every 4 years. And, that's the problem, is that's where we're losing as a country. We need to focus more on, if we have these disagreements, if we can't just leave them at the state level and forget about trying to push all this nonsense on the federal, we should try to cut back on the power at the federal level. But that's not what you will hear from the left. If you want some sort of socialist state, kudos, make it in one of these, make it in one of your states. Because at the end of the day, socialism, Marxism, it doesn't work. Communism, they all don't work on a grand scale. They work in small scale. Let's say a local community, small country, but to work for a big country doesn't work. You got too many mouths to feed, too many hands. It's something that you cannot do large scale, just because the fact that, like I said, too many too many mouths to feed, too many people, too many lazy people. I mean, that's what it's not even only just lazy people. If you live, what went on in Russia was, let's say you had people working in a factory job. Well, if I did, if I created 10, let's say in my shift, I built, let's say 30 phones. Okay, just throwing out a number there, and someone else comes and just they build, 8 phones. Okay, well, I was more than twice as effective as they were, but they're getting paid the same thing as me. I mean, that's what I like. I remember when I worked at Amazon a few years ago. Some of the people they used to work there before Amazon raised their salaries to $15 an hour. The people who worked there before the $15 an hour hated it because they got paid before that. They got bonuses that increased their pay depending on how hard they worked. So if they, created 100 pallets in a day, hey, guess what? You got this much money. But if you didn't, you got paid less money, and that's how it. And so that's why people were happier. But that's not what's going on anymore in Amazon. So all these people want, to unionize it. And the problem was they did their $15 an hour, and it, it screwed things up because not everybody works at the same pace. But this is not about that. Like I said, this is about this lady writing, this lady talking about this. And could you imagine if, let's say, Tucker Carlson said on his show, hey, take up arms and fight for democracy. Or if Hannity said that, Laura Ingraham said that. I don't know the people on OAN and Newsmax to say names, but everybody knows those names, even people on the left. Okay, so can you imagine the outrage if Tucker had said something like that? Imagine it'd be headline on CNN, MSNBC, ABC. It would be all over the news, 24/7 coverage. Oh, well, Tucker Carlson said this. We need to get him canceled. Imagine that. Imagine that if a cis straight white man said what this black woman said. See the double standard that goes on in the news media? What people on the left are allowed to say versus what people on the right are allowed to say. I don't want people to take up arms to defend democracy. I want people to educate themselves. Turn off MSNBC, turn off CNN, or watch it. But watch both. Watch CNN and watch Fox News. Watch both of them. Educate your side on what the other people are thinking. That's what a lot of us do on the right. We have no choice. We only have basically Fox News. AT&T just got rid of OAN, One America News, on DirecTV. So now you're just down to Fox, and I don't know if they have Newsmax. I don't have DirecTV, but that's what's going on. I mean, so like I said, that's the double standard when it comes to outrage in the news, because if Fox News is outraged, nobody cares other than people on the right. The people on the left, the only time if they're outraged, it goes on all their stations. And then they'll complain, oh, Fox News is, state-run propaganda. Really? When right now, who's president? Who controls Congress? But you're saying Fox News is state-run propaganda? Let's be serious now. I'm not a huge fan of Fox News. I've never been a huge fan of Fox News. They're biased just as much as anyone else. And I still have my biases against them from when I still was a Democrat. But the one, I still really can't listen to Hannity too much. He annoys me. The only one I could stomach on Fox News is Tucker Carlson. And it's, and that's just me being honest. I'd rather listen to, talk radio or podcasts, Bongino, um, um, Daily Wire on the right, centrists on centrists like Tim Pool are people I like to listen to. But I'll go to Bongino Report. I'll still go to George Report. Um, I'll go to CNN, and I'll go to these outlets, get my news, get uh stuff from both sides. And that's what everybody should do. That's what I would want every person to do, because so you could see the hypocrisy when it comes to what each side is allowed to talk about. Because, like I said, imagine the uproar. Imagine what you would see on Twitter or Facebook if Tucker Carlson had said exactly verbatim what this lady said. Imagine, there would be calls for sponsors to boycott his show. There'd be calls for him to get fired. But no, when you're on the left, you can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You could get caught spanking it on Zoom and you still get back. You're not waiting for when, in a few years, when things die down, that Chris Cuomo will get his shot again. I wouldn't be surprised. Probably won't be, it may not be CNN, but it might be MSNBC. But then again, his brother is screwed from politics too. So he doesn't have the power and the clout that he did while his brother was governor. Because his name meant something, but it doesn't mean as much anymore. So, that's the problem, is the nepotism, failing up that goes on in politics. Because not all politics are and not all these political pundits are geniuses. A lot of them are dumb as doornails. That's another expression I wanted to say, but but yeah. So anyways, I'll just leave it there. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Let me know. If you think I'm right, let me know that you think I'm right. And we could discuss it on the comment section. Anyways, I'm the Right Rican. Follow me on YouTube and Rumble. If you're watching this on one platform, I encourage you to cross subscribe and interact with me on social media. I post up my videos. I'll chit chat on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, you name it, I have it. All right. And yep. Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you had a good weekend.